Guys, what's going on? I hope you guys are well. I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope everything's good wherever you guys are. Guys, I've just seen Joyce obliterate, destroy Joseph Parker. Oh my goodness, what a performance. Joyce, look, I'll be honest with you. I've not been a big fan of Joyce. I've actually belittled Joyce. I thought he's pretty average. I think I've always said that I think he's pretty poor. I mean, I've never really rated him. That's changed. That has changed. I mean, I have changed my opinion on Joyce massively. Before I looked at him and thought, this guy's so slow. He's slow as molasses. I mean, this guy's gonna get battered when he comes up against the elite. But this is a guy that is like a truck that keeps coming. He's got like a grand. It's like hitting a brick wall. His chin. I always knew his chin was good, but he literally has got a granite chin, right? And he's got an engine which could probably go for 20, 25 rounds. He's that fit. For such a big guy, that's unusual. He's got a jab that does some serious damage. I mean, a jab that busts you up. I mean, he broke the socket of Daniel Dubois. Yesterday, Joseph Parker was getting hit with that jab, and it looked like after 4 or 5 rounds, he had been in a wreck. I mean, this guy is he's just like an Iron Man. You know, he's proper Iron Man. He's slow and there's still deficiencies in his game. But yesterday, what I was impressed was the fact that Joseph Parker is a really fast guy. A really fast guy. And I thought Joseph Parker, I actually thought Joseph Parker would beat Joyce on points. I was shocked at how fast, Joyce was, in the sense that how quick he was closing the distance and out of the fact that he was making it so uncomfortable. He literally wasn't giving Joseph Parker any breathing space whatsoever. And Joseph Parker was just being drowned in there. I mean, the guy was too big, too strong. He was swarming all over him. And just how forceful Joyce was, how relentless he was, and how, what's the word I'm looking for? How he seemed like from round one, he seemed desperate in the sense that he didn't want Joseph Parker to get in his rhythm. He just wanted to swarm him right away. And it was like everyone thought that Parker would have a lot of success early on. Joyce would come in later on. But for me, it was, and I'm not saying Parker did some good stuff. He hit Joyce with a lot of big shots. But for me, it looked like Joyce had that under control all the way through. It looked like he had the fight under control. And what I mean by that is it always looked like Joyce was going to win that fight from the first round onwards. He had Parker in trouble. Parker was in the corners on the ropes. And Joyce was just, he was just overwhelming him. I mean, he was just all over him. Parker showed a lot of guts, a lot of heart. He showed a lot of toughness, but he just was beaten into submission by this big juggernaut, by this big man, big, strong, a guy with better skills than what we initially thought. I actually think Joyce is a problem. He's a problem. Before I go on to that, I think Joseph Parker, I will say this, that although Joseph Parker is a good fighter, he's done well, he became heavyweight champion of the world, I don't think Joseph Parker's really lived up to his billing, if I'm honest with you. When I first saw Joseph Parker, I thought this guy could be something really special. I mean, one of the best of this era. I honestly thought that when I first saw him against Takam, I thought that, you know what, this guy's a really, really good fighter, really, really good fighter. And I thought he was going to go a long way, but he hasn't quite delivered. I think that's his third loss now. He's lost to Joyce. He's lost to 3 British fighters, Joyce, Joshua, and White. And really looking back at that, I don't think he ever had a chance against Joyce. I think Joyce was just too big, too strong for him. The Anthony Joshua fight was a bit of a stinker. The Dillian White fight was a thriller, and he could have easily won that fight. This fight, it was a good fight, but I think he was just overwhelmed. I think he was out. I mean, out of all the 2 guys, I think Joyce has beaten more convincingly. I think Joshua, it was a stinking fight, the one that he had with Joshua. But this one, he was soundly beaten up. I mean, at the end, even that punch that he got hit with at the end, the left hook, I mean, it didn't seem like a big punch, but Joyce, it seems like his punches, although they don't look like much, they have a big impact. They have a huge impact because you can just tell with the with the marks on the guys' faces. I mean, they look like they've been battered. And Joseph Parker at that point, in my opinion, was spent. He was just, in my opinion, he was done physically because Joyce had hit him with so many shots, and just the size and strength of the man, always there on you mentally, physically when they were grabbing hold. Joyce is just a stronger man. I think Parker was just worn down and eventually put into submission. I don't think Joyce has got one-punch knockout power, but I think he's a serious problem. Now, moving on about Joyce and thinking what's next for him. For me, Joyce, he's ready for the big dogs. He's ready for anyone in the heavyweight division. He's 37 years of age. He's got to be ready because he's too old. I mean, he needs the fights now. Joyce, the problem he may have is Father Time might catch up because he is old. If he can't get the fights right away, Father Time might catch up. But I honestly think that I always thought that Usyk would outbox and beat Joyce. I'm not so sure now. I'm not so sure because this guy's got an engine. This guy just keeps coming. He's not going to get hurt. He's not going to be deterred because Usyk can't hurt Joyce. He's got too good a chin. So if he can't hurt Joyce and Joyce keeps coming, can he keep him off? I'm not so sure. I think this Joyce is a completely different guy than the one that he fought in the amateurs. And also it's 12 rounds. So Joyce has a lot more time to do some serious damage. I think he beats Joshua. I think he's got too good a chin, right? And I think Joshua will hit him, but I think he's got too good a chin. I think he'll walk through everything Joshua's got, and I think he's bigger than Joshua. And I think he's naturally strong, and I think he will make a big dent in Anthony Joshua. Joshua hasn't got great stamina. Joshua also, people talk about his chin, but I don't think it will be his chin. I just think the fact that Joyce would overwhelm him and just gas him out. I think that's what would happen. Joseph Parker has a pretty good engine. I will say this, I don't think Joseph Parker hits as hard or is as big as Joshua. But Joshua doesn't really use his size to effectively anyway. I mean, he doesn't really know how to. And if he does try to with Joyce is probably bigger and he's probably going to get more. He's probably going to get tired himself. So he doesn't really want to be getting into any physical exchanges like grappling and stuff like that with Joyce. But I just think Joyce is too relentless for Joshua. I think he's got too good an engine, and I think he takes Joshua out. If I'm totally honest with you, I think Wilder's a great fight because I'm one of the belief that if Wilder's right hand hits anyone, it's game, set, and match. That's what I believe about Wilder. So I think if Joyce, I think the Wilder fight's a great fight because the Wilder fight would tell us that how good his chin really is. And can he fight the way he does against someone like Wilder and not be affected by the power? Because a lot of these guys that he's fought, like Dubois got power, but Dubois not anywhere near, Wilder's power. The one makes Wilder very dangerous is the fact that Wilder's got explosive power. That's the most dangerous kind of power because that's the kind of power that can put you to sleep. If you look at a lot of the guys that get these high real knockouts in the past, even Julian Jackson, you look at guys like Wilder, Gervonta Davis, all these guys, even Canelo has scored some highlight reel knockouts at, his own, natural weights. The reason why is because these guys are explosive punchers. Anyone that's an explosive puncher can take your lights out, and Wilder's a very explosive puncher, and the power it comes with speed. You don't even see the right hand at times. It's so fast. Even though you see he's about to throw it, it just comes with so much speed and it takes you out. That would be an interesting fight. Before when I used to talk about Joshua and Joyce, I used to always say that Joshua beats him. I'm not that impressed, but now I think Joyce is one of those guys that is proving that he's a serious and I might even say something controversial here. I actually think Joyce is a problem for Tyson Fury. I do. I don't think Tyson Fury is going to hurt and knock out Joyce. I think Joyce is too strong. I think he's got too good a chin. And I think his engine matches, if not betters, Tyson Fury. And I think that would be a very interesting fight. And also, I think Joyce, although we think he's slow and this, that, and the other, I think Joyce is a lot faster than what we give him credit for. And also, he can... I just think he'll pressure Tyson Fury. You'd still have to favor Tyson Fury to win, but I think that's a very dangerous fight for Fury. And Fury probably won't go near Joyce, if I'm honest with you. I don't think he'd want to fight Joyce because it's kind of a very risky fight for not much reward. where he can fight someone like Joshua, who's probably an easier fight for Fury, and much more money. And even stylistically, maybe Usyk's an easier fight. Like, Joyce is a problem. I mean, Joyce is a problem for anybody. I think Joyce could go in there with anybody and be a problem. I genuinely think Joyce is a really, really tough fighter to beat. I think Joyce is going to be a problem for anybody in the heavyweight division. And I don't think there's going to be people queuing up to fight Joyce because he's relentless. He's got a great chin. Although he's not a one-punch knockout artist, he's very, very strong. And it looks like his punches, although they don't look like much, they have a massive effect on the opponents, because look at the faces after a couple of rounds. I mean, their faces look brashed and bruised. Like Joseph Parker, after the first or second round, already had a bloody nose. I mean, this guy he's very, very strong. Very, very strong, very, very big. He's a problem. He's a serious, serious problem in the heavyweight division. So leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Do you think Joyce is the truth in the heavyweight division? Leave your thoughts. Let me know what you think, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.